Hello YouTube, it's shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, here with yet another wrestling review. It's Thursday night, and of course I'm joined always by my co-host and roommate and all-around lackey, Joe. Say hi, Joe. He's excited about Christmas. Well, anyway, it's Thursday night, and it's time for Impact. And normally I would say that this was a bad, I would be going on about how bad Impact was, but tonight, can't believe I'm saying this, but this was a good Impact. Not decent like last week's, but good. And I'll get into, and you'll see why once I start my review. So the show opens up, surprisingly, in the middle of a match. It's a fatal four-way tag team match between Inc., Generation Me, Beer Money, and the World Tag Team Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. And they're really tearing the house down. And it's not just them, but on commentary is none other than Nature Boy Ric Flair. And of course, him being Ric Flair, he is just awesome to listen to while enjoying this match. It was a pretty great match. Well, not great, I mean good match. I mean, there were some spots done by me and by Generation Me, aka the Young Bucks and the Guns with a ladder. Kind of a teaser as to this Sunday's Full Metal Mayhem match they're having for the tag titles. And inside the ring, Inc. is giving Beer Money a run for their money. Pun intended. The matches last pretty long, like about 10 minutes or so, and Flair is hyping himself up, hyping his group up. He's doing what Flair usually does. So I think it was Shannon Moore goes for a quick roll up and ends with Inc. winning the match. The Beer Money are not happy with the referee's job. This is, by the way, this is the same referee who reffed Matt Morgan and Jeff Hardy's title match, and who also is ironically Eric Bischoff's son. So they get in his face, and Flair is like, "You get him! You get him! Rough his ass up! Rough him up! Get him! Woo! I'm God! I'm God! I'm God! Woo!" That's just awesome. So they're just basically roughing up and beating up this this poor ref when when Matt Morgan comes out, and he puts Flair in a chokehold, and he says, "You better let him go, boys. You come near me, and I will choke this old man's lights out." And he says that if any of you come near this referee again, I'm gonna rip all your heads off and stuff them down your throats. And he is really getting over with this. I mean, he's getting a lot of reaction from this. And I've never seen Matt Morgan so over, even back during his last run as a tag champion. But he releases him, he runs off. Flair gets crunk, throws off his jacket, and he does Flair. Unfortunately, my nephew is here with us, and I was running in and out, so I missed some portions of Impact. But if I miss anything, please let me know. So I come back to find Mickie James singing. Don't know how I feel about that, but sad, good, and Eric Young playing the cowbell. Chris Walken must have written this sketch. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Anyway, Tara intervenes, and the two of them have a brawl that lasts through the entirety of Impact. I mean, they are just kicking each other's asses all over the place, which I like. And I was right. Mickie James was exactly what the knockouts needed to get some life back into them. Next match, Douglas Williams takes on Kazarian. And I have to admit, this was a great match. Kazarian is one of the underrated talents of TNA. He's very good. His in-ring skill is near AJ's level. He's just brilliant to watch in the ring. And Douglas Williams is of course a technical genius when it comes to mat wrestling. So it was just a very good, nice back and forth match. Douglas wins with the Chaos Theory. Backstage, him and Morgan are talking when Fortune jumps them. Yeah. And they get broken up. And of course, by D'Lo Brown because no one wants to throw down with the Brown. What happened next? Let's see. We had a next thing I remember, we have a knockouts triple threat match between Madison Rayne, Velvet Sky, and Sarita. Now, as everyone remembers, last week Madison Rayne had a match with Sarita, and Sarita won. This was actually a pretty good match as far as knockouts go. It was very good. I mean, and Sarita won. So I hope that this leads up to Sarita eventually winning the knockouts title. She really deserves it. She is great in the ring, and I love her. Too bad. They need to bring Hamada back as well as Zombie Hot, and the knockouts will be good again. Next, what else? I'm trying to remember it. But Bubba and Devon finally have the confrontation since their falling out a few weeks ago. Devon is cutting a hella great promo. I'm not saying I'm looking forward to their match, but I'm saying the build-up is a lot better. Bubba then starts calling out Taz and saying that he's a bum. Well, of course, the human suplex machine doesn't take too kindly to this. He picks up the mic and lays into Bubba. He's like, I may be an old washed-up has-been, but you wait, so get your ass in the ring. So, while I'm not looking forward to the match, I love the build-up for it. Because they're doing what the Dudleys do best, and that's cut promos. So I'm happy about that. Next up, I believe, is Matt Morgan versus Rhino, who's now taking orders from Flair. And the two of them have a very interesting match, very intense back and forth. Morgan gets cut open, but it doesn't really stop him, and he just proceeds to start steamrolling over Rhino. Then at one point, Morgan hits the carbon footprint and goes for the pin, and then Fortune comes and jumps him. And they are just stomping the hell out of him with Rhino. And then RVD comes to the ring, and he draws Rhino out of the ring, which is a setup for their match this Sunday at Final Resolution, which is going to be like an old school First Blood match. So the rest of Fortune are beating up on Matt Morgan. And then the charismatically boring Enigma comes out with a chair. And he looks skinny. I mean, he looks crackhead level skinny. I mean, I don't see people that skinny unless they're anorexic supermodels or crackheads from the east side of Houston. I mean, that is just, ugh. Just stop, get off that shit, Matt. Well, he goes to lay him out, a la what he did to Mr. Anderson. And thank God someone stops him, who is Mr. Anderson. Comes out with a lead pipe, clears the ring, and starts cutting a promo, saying how he's grateful to Matt Morgan for standing up for him and taking his place against Jeff Hardy at the last pay-per-view. And he's like, well, you know what I remember for the last month? What have I been doing the last month? I don't know. I can't remember. So I'm coming for you, Jeffrey. He cuts a pretty promo, and he throws his hat in the ring to be the special guest referee for Matt's return title match against Jeff Hardy this Sunday. And so, Mr. Anderson will now be a special guest referee for the title match. I wonder how he's going to screw him over. Anyway, what else? Again, if I'm missing something, it's because I've been in and out of my room. So if I missed something, please let me know. Let's see. Robbie E. and Jay Lethal got into a New Jersey fist pumping contest. I chose to skip that. So we went to the main event. Jeff Jarrett and Abyss versus Samoa Joe and the Pope. Now they're still pushing this angle about the Pope and Joe fighting against one another. I don't buy it. Why would they be fighting in the first place? They should be focused on their opponents. They should be. I'm questioning your booking and logic with this TNA. Overall, the match was good. There was good tension between the two of them, and they all got a chance to shine. Surprisingly, I'm starting to buy more and more of this whole MMA master Jeff Jarrett thing. I mean, he's even coming out in MMA garb, barefoot with tape around it and 8-ounce gloves, and his his in-ring style is reflecting more of that. He's fighting more like an MMA fighter, and I'm starting to like that. So the ref takes a bump. Jarrett goes under the ring to get a guitar, because everyone knows guitars are perfectly legal in mixed martial arts. And Joe kicks it and lays out Jarrett, saying, "You want to hit me with this? You think that can stop me?" Then the ref rolls in the ring. He sees Jarrett laid out. He sees Samoa Joe with the guitar, and he rings the bell, saying that, and disqualifies Joe and Pope, Pope's still brawling with Biss outside. Joe is so angry that he's about to kill the referee with a muscle buster, until Jarrett hits him with a low blow and gets him in a rear naked choke. He then orders Abyss to help him put Joe in the casket. Out from under the casket appears none other than Kurt Angle, and he gives Abyss the angle slam while Jarrett runs off like a little bitch. And we were going to end with Jeff Hardy saying some other shit, but frankly, I don't really give a shit what he has to say. Unless he's abdicating the title and retiring professional wrestling or giving up drugs or something, I don't care. Overall, this was a good Impact, which is rare to say. They had some great matches. Given an adequate amount of time, the promos were done by everyone who can do good promos. And the people that I don't like the most, Bischoff, Hogan, and Bischoff and Hogan were nowhere to be found. Even Dixie wasn't even there. As for Hardy, he only had one appearance, but that wasn't enough to sell you this one for me. So this is for me, my verdict. This is a good watchable Impact. It reminds me of the Impact of old that I had fallen in love with. Did you enjoy it, Joe? See? He agrees with me. So anyway, that was Impact. And so I'll see you next time when I review SmackDown. And hopefully will be tomorrow if I'm not doing anything. So this has been shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, as well as my friend Joe. Say goodbye, Joe. So we'll see you tomorrow. Later.